This is 952 Deely. Right away, the steps are in pretty good shape. A little bit of an angle on them, but nothing crazy. All the concrete looks like it's in fine shape. It's been repainted. The house itself, it has brick for the porch that's been painted, and it has an aluminum siding with a concrete foundation that looks in good shape as well. One thing I will point out, Deely Street is a fairly narrow street. You can only park on one side, and it is still a two-way street, so you can drive going either direction, so it can be a lot. Other thing is, this locust tree looks like it's healthy enough, but it does have some limbs that look like might be dying, so I want to have that checked out because it's really big and it's a very maybe slight lean towards the house. Really like the large lot. It's very cool. All right, so I'm gonna go inside, and just so you know, the showing allows an overlapping appointments, and there's another showing going on. Porch is on the smaller side, but the concrete slab is in good shape. Love the beadboard. Nice sized living room, pretty fun tile. Oops. There you go. Thanks. Excuse me.
Of course.
I'll go straight to the basement here. This is just a sub panel. Not 100% sure why. Maybe they tried to make this a duplex at one point, or there was a duplex at one point. Let's see where the other box is. Okay. Got a fairly finished Pittsburgh potty down here. It's in a full shower. It's not beautiful by any means. It needs to be cleaned, but it's not horrible. One thing to note, there is a sump pump with an interior French drain. That's what that plastic stuff is. So, you know, if moisture comes on through these walls, then it would be diverted by that plastic into the French drain. Now, what I don't love is that this plastic sheathing is on the outside of this drywall. It's really, that sheathing is supposed to go on the other side of this stonework. So, you know, not my favorite right there, but not everywhere is finished. So we have the sandstone foundation over here. Here's the regular box. Does it still? Yeah, it does. Great. 100 amp. There's only enough for one more breaker, it looks like. Everything's a good size, though. They didn't put any like 10s in there, just a bunch of 20s, which is great. Some 50s and 30s. Looking at the joists, not seeing any signs of rot or termite damage. All looks to be okay. Our stack is in cast iron. There's no clean out here. Let's see if there's another one somewhere else. We can go through the floor drain and look at the trap and the rest of the sewer line at least. This is the back exterior door that is now closed off. Washer and dryer being vented out. It's electric, but there's gas going to the house, so if you wanted to switch to gas, everything's exposed, so it would be pretty easy. Hot water tank. Let's see here. 40 gallon, manufactured in 2019, and 37,000 BTUs. So a little small. I would expect this size of housing to have at least a 50 gallon, but you know, Might just mean that you have to stagger some showers, or get a new hot water tank. This says 20, but on the date right here, but it was manufactured in 2019. That makes a lot of sense to me. It's normal. This is more of that waterproofing material that goes down into the French drain. Makes a lot of sense for it to be when there's the Bilco doors that are closed off. So if there's any water that comes in through there, it would get trapped. And this whole side of the house has the same waterproofing material that goes to the French drain. But interestingly enough, it's not on this side with the fake cat statue. On this wall, there is a pin post support. It is right next to the stone wall, so I'm not like really sure why it's even there. At some point, they even like pointed all of their stone walls. I wonder if that was because they were getting more moisture and they weren't sure what to do. It's not something that we tend to see. Over here, we have the boiler. This is a relatively new boiler. Boilers we expect to get 50 to 100 years. This one looks like it might be in 20 to 30. That's my guess. They don't usually label these with manufacturing dates. You have to get the serial number and look it up that way. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it on there. That's okay. Maybe it's in the disclosure. We have more of the waterproofing material down here. This is the radon mitigation system. We can see that it is working because whenever there is any differential between the two sides of that liquid, that means that the fan is in fact moving. Not sure why this old gas line is cut and just sitting here, but it is. There is a new gas line, so seems in fine shape. Okay. That. Nothing crazy. I mean, looks fine. Can't see everything because of the waterproofing wall. The electrical looks great. I mean, when I look at the junction boxes, I'm seeing Romex going in and out, which is what we want to see. What I mean by that is we have the Romex on one side and Romex on the other. We don't have like armored cable or knob and tube going up into the wall or something like that. There are a couple old armored cable lines, but comparatively to a lot of the houses we've seen, there's only like 2, I think. So really not that bad. I will say that some of these steps have a weird lean, like they are pitched down towards the basement, so it just has that uneasy kind of feeling walking down. Dining room, we've got this huge window AC. I mean, honestly, it's very comfortable in here, but it's not crazy hot outside today. So. Here's the kitchen. This would have been a porch that they expanded into. You can see the old beadboard. And they opened up these walls, and it looks like they have new LVLs for the headers that are carriage bolted through. They did not put any sort of decorative covering on them. They just painted them. But on the plus side, that means that this was done in a good way. You can see the old brick supports from the porch that they enclosed. It's kind of cool. Matches the exterior, kind of like that. Outside on the deck over here, this is all Trex decking, which is that like particle board that's been dipped in plastic, so you don't have to refinish it. Very nice. We've got a nice shed, nice garden. Has some nice side yard. One of the things that was labeled on the electrical box was this what's the solar panels. You can see they're right there. Look relatively fine. I'll look at the window to see the rest of the roof from the upstairs. The sliding doors are both Pella, which is a great brand. Very nice to use. Got the stone countertops with the peekaboo window. This is a fireplace, so trying to make this totally open is just really not going to happen. It'd be really expensive. You could do it, but getting rid of that fireplace is going to be a lot of work. There's a decent bit of counter space, and even though it's that galley style, it's pretty narrow, it feels a little bit more open since they took out this section right here, which is pretty fun. I'm guessing they're using this kind of like as a pantry, yeah. That is the one thing I will say, is that there's okay amounts of cabinets, but not a ton. Here's the radiator covers. In good shape. There's no railing on this side. For an FHA loan, that's going to be a problem in the future. Carpet's older. It's kind of loose. It's not bad. You can see some of that loose piling. The subway tile is to make it look like the old subway tile. It's pretty cool, but it's not actually old subway tile. And then they've got all this engineered hardwood everywhere else. And it's the same stuff that's in the kitchen. It's a small bathroom. It's a little narrow, especially because there's radiators right here, so it's pretty tight. I really wouldn't want to like share the bathroom with anybody at the same time. This room is on the smaller side. It doesn't have an actual door. It has hinges like it used to have an actual door. It's not like, oh, I didn't realize it goes all the way back that way. They're just kind of cramming a bunch of stuff in there right now. There's the attic access right here, which is not going to be easy to ever use. So this is like, it's, you know, maybe 2.5 feet deep, which is, for a Pittsburgh closet, not terrible. If it was only to like right here on the wall, there wouldn't be a ton of usable space. You just hang up, you know, a handful of things and that's it. But at least it has that. As far as actual spacing in here goes, if you put a queen off of this wall coming towards me right now, the spacing would be very small. Like, so realistically, if you're putting a bed in here, you're either putting a crib where the chair is, or like a twin bed, maybe a bunk bed, something like that, or you're just using this as an office. I made the comment earlier about the sliders being Pella. I don't believe the windows are Pella. They're older windows. They're still double pane vinyl, and the glazing looks fine. They all have screens, so I'm not too concerned. The roof itself with the solar panels on is probably one of my biggest concerns. Yes, sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave everything open if you weren't.
Oh yeah, I'll close it up.
Lock box is out front.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so the roof is probably my biggest concern. On the edges of, I wonder if I can, yeah, the screen makes it hard to do that. I could open it up. There you go. So you can see like the fibers starting to show on the edges here, and they're showing kind of everywhere on all of the asphalt shingles. They're all 3-tab, which I believe we've seen already before. That's an older shingle style. So like, I don't love that there's solar panels on top of an old roof. Like, I would give this roof a, you know, at max in this condition, 5 years. But that's just my, it's not a roofer's estimate. It's just like what I'm pretty sure. I would also say that The flashing could be touched up as well. So I want to look more into the solar panels, how long they've been on, what the leasing information is, do they own them outright, you know, all that kind of stuff. Trying to figure that out, and what the schedule for the roof is, because if you have to pay a handsome amount to get the solar panels removed just to redo the roof, that's quite the premium for something that you're not going to get as much of a benefit out of. Over here, we just have the shutoffs, or where we're supposed to have access to the local shutoffs, but there are no valves. So by code, you're supposed to have some access panel. In this case, they have a whole door to be able to locally shut off in case the tub starts to leak or whatever, and you can just turn it off that way. But they just have access to the pipes there, which that's something. Up here, we have a much better sized bedroom. They have, you know, big cabinets because the storage in the closets are not huge. As you can see, this is more what I think of as a traditional Pittsburgh closet, about 1.5 feet deep at most. It's a little longer than others, so you can stuff some stuff, like they put a bunch of their pillows and things like that in there. But really, it's a small closet, so you're gonna have to have some auxiliary bureaus or something like that. But easily, this room could fit a king and still have nightstands on both sides, and it's a big sized room. For whatever reason, these windows actually were replaced. Let's try to see if I can see the brand name. Don't look like Pella. I'm not sure why they replaced some things, not all the others. Front porch roof. The fibers aren't showing as much, but you know, this one doesn't have solar panels on it. So I would guess that this porch roof actually probably has a little bit more life on it than the back porch, which is unfortunate. You can see that they probably used to have, you know, some knob and tube that they cut out because they ran this exterior cable for the new conduit. The plastic casing. I'm blanking on the name for that type of casing, but it's the cheap stuff that you run when you don't want to run it inside the walls. Whoa. I just noticed this exposed wallpaper. That is fun. Okay. Is it only a 2-bedroom? I guess so. Oh, okay. I thought it was a 3. Maybe I'm still all wrong. I'm not counting one in the basement. No, I can't. There isn't one in there. I guess it is just a 2-bedroom. All right. Oh, here's the stuff on the solar panels. I was hoping that outlined the timelines better. This has all of the numbers for how much energy Tesla pays, has the bills. This big old agreement down here. They started the agreement in 2018. And say this is how you transfer it, so you can transfer them. Yes. That's going to take a lot more digging to figure out, so I'm going to have to look through that. It's a huge agreement. Okay. That is Deely Street.